Dark and Darker is a RuneScape come to life quote-unquote looter shooter. Although you won't be doing too many shootings depending on what class you're playing, it is one of the most fun games I've played in a while. I have over 100 hours on it between multiple playtests. Here are my 7 best tips to get you started, get you rolling, and get you surviving raids and getting out of there. Let's get right into it. Number 1. Using your gear, not only for this playtest as we only have 1 week on the game, but Dark and Darker is one of the most punishing looter shooters, for lack of a better term, that I've played. And the gear you're running can make the game feel horrible or great. The PvE can be very punishing, and running your better gear will make that experience immensely better, allowing you to survive raids, grab loot, move around the map quicker, and in chance that you do run into PvP, win that fight. What I typically try to do is run the best loot that I have, and any loot that I pick up that will fit my class and what I want to wear that is the same tier, or worse, stash that away so that way if I do die with the best gear that I have, I then have a backup, and then I can slowly start building up the backup gear that I have until I have 3, 4, 5 good sets, and they'll be constantly improving. When I do make money off of other gear that I found in the raid, I will then upgrade gear. And then once I upgrade my gear, I could then put the gear I was wearing as another backup gear. This doesn't mean I'm going to be running my best boots without the rest of the set to facilitate that being the best option. What this means is that I'll be running my best full kit. So if that means I only have, say, second tier weapon, then I'll run my second tier chest or my second tier boots. And until I get a weapon that will match how good my boots are, I'll keep using all of my other gear until I have, say, really good boots, really good chest, really good weapon, really good helmet. Then I'll put all that stuff on and be constantly improving my backups. The marketplace you can sign up for at level 5, and it will cost 25 gold for you to get your trader's license. The free market in Dark and Darker can be a very intimidating aspect of the game, but also a very key aspect to master and understand. Spending some time using the marketplace and learning what stats will sell better and what makes the gear you have good takes time and a little bit of patience. Some quick stats that will make every piece of gear worth more and that you want to get your hands on are plus to all attributes, move speed, true speed, adds physical damage, adds magical damage, etc, etc. Each one of these stats has a minimum and maximum number that it can roll on certain items. It can be important to learn these minimal mins and maxes in order to make the most of the market, whether you are buying or selling. As you can see here, I reached level 5. I had saved up a falchion. Even though it was green, it had plus 2 true physical damage. Great roll. I probably could have got 150 gold out of it, but a quick 100 gold right at the beginning of the wipe is going to be, huge. Number 3, taking your time. This can be one of the hardest to learn in Dark and Darker if you are someone like myself who likes to play very aggressive. As mentioned earlier, the PvE can be very punishing. Taking damage early in the raid greatly reduces your chance of making it out, having to expend heals, or not being ready for that early PvP fight. Different classes have it harder in the early stages of the game. Taking your time with the PvE, letting the monster swing, hitting the monster, letting the monster swing, hitting the monster is key to success, and you will get faster and faster with it. Trying to sneak one more hit in before the next swing is most of the time never the move, and you will always take damage when you do that. Number 4, bring heals. Once you have established yourself a little bit in the game currency-wise, it is important to start bringing in the heals. These will make it so if you make a mistake, your whole raid isn't ruined. I typically like a couple of each heal, a couple bandages, a couple heal pots, but you will figure out exactly how much you like to invest in, as they are not necessarily cheap. You will also, when you do win PvP fights, you will be able to pick up their heals. I like to bring 2 small heals, whether it becomes bandies or pots, and then a big heal, whether it be a campfire, etc. Staying at full health is huge. Yes, sometimes it sucks to use that surge kit or use that campfire for a little bit amount of health, but trust me, it is always worth it to be using your heals and staying at full health as much as you can. And in the case of Wizard, making sure you are meditating and keeping as many spells on standby as possible will make or break when an enemy player or an extra mob pops up that you can now handle. Number 5, this is kind of like number 3. Well, it is number 3, but I want to reiterate taking your time in PvP as well. What I find the most fun in Dark and Darker is those 1vx scenarios, although it can be very frustrating to lose gear in the 1vx scenario as you feel outnumbered and etc. But don't fret. Take your time in these situations. People are very prone to making mistakes in a team with Teamfire on, and the longer the fight lasts, the longer the chance you have of them making these mistakes. Capitalizing on these mistakes, and you could be walking out with a whole lot of gear. If you have followed all the prior steps, you also have the gear advantage, sometimes, and heals to prolong that fight, and these can make a huge difference and possibly even have you rolling over full teams. Number 6. Figuring out the class you want to play. Each class is pretty balanced in Dark and Darker, which is very refreshing for a game. I have played each class level 20. Since we only have a limited time at the moment, I really do encourage taking the time to play the classes. Figure out what suits you. This will also help you understand the stats that work well in each class when it comes to finding that gear and game to sell in the marketplace. Side note, if you are playing with friends and you find gear that can be used on another character of yours, you can trade them that gear and then have them trade that gear to your other character. Number 7, pay attention to where you spawn as you learn the map. This will massively improve you getting out of the raids. Dark and Darker has a decently small map, making it very easy for teams or players to gank you early on. Knowing these spawns and how quick you can get to and from each spawn can prevent that from happening to you or make you the ganker. One thing I like to do if I'm at that spawn that is close to another player is run to it, even if I don't plan on fighting, to clear that spawn. I will then know that that area is safe, and it will give me a little bit better idea of where the rest of the players will be and where they'll be rotating from. Tip number 8, bonus tip. Now this isn't necessarily a tip, but I will be live over on Twitch for most of this week's playtest. If you'd like to learn more or ask any questions or see some Wizard gameplay, please come join me over at twitch.tv/officialmajora. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.